Alright, gents. One thing that I used to hate about business advice online was that every time an entrepreneur would talk to you about business or finances or making money online or whatever it is, they would always frame it as if you were already an entrepreneur. It seems like these guys are just all like nepo babies who got their parents' money or, are living on the dole or still live with their parents, and they don't understand the real world situations that a lot of young guys are in. I understand because I speak to a lot of young guys on the calls and in the community every single day. And I understand that a lot of you boys are in the situation where you kind of need to work. You don't have all day to fuck around and test different business ideas and spend, 18 hours a day testing things. You need something that's going to work, but you also need to earn money. Maybe you're still living with your parents, but they want rent and you feel bad because you're not paying them very much money, or they're very lenient with you, but you still feel bad because they're still buying the food and then you live there for free. So you're still working, you're still in a job. You understand that you need money to survive because you want to go, on holidays with your mates, or you want to treat your girlfriend to a dinner. Like, these are real world examples, and a lot of these entrepreneurs, they give advice as if everyone just has all the time in the world to work on the business. But that's not true. I know because I was in the same situation, and I'm still currently in a similar situation. I'm not completely financially free. I don't have all the hours in the day to work just purely on business and trying things out and seeing if they work and researching crypto for 10 hours a day. I don't have that time, and a lot of you boys don't have that time either. You still have a job, and you want to know how to transition from having the job that you're currently in because you don't like the job that you're in, how to get from where you are now, the job you're in order to build a business, make money probably online, and then in the future be able to quit your job because your business is making more money. That's what you want. You want to know how to make money online, or usually it's online, from a business that in the future will make you more money than your job that you're currently working, so then you can quit your job and spend all the time on the business and making more money. Right? That probably rings a few bells to you. You're probably thinking to yourself, yeah, that is the situation I'm in. I'm not an entrepreneur with all the time in the world to work my business. I still have a life. I still need to make money. I still need, to work a job and have a wage in order to survive, to pay for my gym membership, or pay for my food, or give my family rent, or buy new clothes, or whatever it is, right? You need money. You can't just quit your job, throw everything out the window, burn the boats, and fucking just go all in on a business that you don't know even if it will work yet or not. So, with that being said, I'm going to tell you in this video the best jobs for aspiring entrepreneurs, because it would have really helped me out when I was a little bit younger, because no one seemed to tell you this, so I had to learn it the hard way. I had to do all the research, the trial and error. I had to go through all the shit by myself so that I can give it to you boys in this video. So, let's think about this logically. I've already explained that you're working a job, but your goal is to quit this job and have an online business, make money online. Okay, we've got the goal, we've got the plan, we know what we want. That's the first step. That's a very, very important life lesson, is knowing what you want. Knowing what you want, that's half the battle, because a lot of guys say they want something, but they haven't actually thought about it. They don't know if they actually want it. But you and I both know what you want. You want to be able to quit your job and make enough money so that you can quit your job and work on your business. Okay, we've got the plan, we've got the idea, we know what we want. So, with that being said, there is two types of jobs that I would recommend to any young guy who has the goal of quitting their job and starting their business. The first type of job, and this is the route that I went down, is getting a job where it's low effort, meaning that you can be on your phone. Okay, so let me break this down for you. For me, this was being a postman. Okay, so what a postman's day would look like is you would get into like the post office, the delivery office, the like mail center where all the letters and the parcels are. You'd be in there for maybe 30 minutes to an hour. You'd have to scan all your parcels and, sort all your mail in like a certain route and all that sort of stuff. So you'd be in there for maybe 30 minutes or an hour. And I personally wasn't on my phone because obviously you're sorting, but you could potentially be on your phone while doing it. But you're probably going to spend 30 minutes to an hour in the morning just, prepping stuff up, getting your parcels ready, loading the van up, ready to deliver. So then you would head out. you would park your van at a certain street at a certain point, and you would walk the mail. So you would walk the houses with the mail, deliver the mail, of course, and you'd also deliver the parcels as well. And any big parcels that you couldn't fit in like your bag, you would drive them around. So this allowed me to, from the moment I got out of the delivery office, let's say 9:30, all the way until I finished my round, which was maybe 1:30, 2:30, that's a good 7 or 8 hours there, where I could have my headphones in. So all I would do is the night before, I would prep 7 or 8 hours worth of value that I'm going to consume. So I would know what type of business that I wanted to get into. So for example, for me, it's, a lot of my business is creating content, coaching people, influence, community, that sort of thing. So I would find podcasts, I would find YouTube videos, I would find audiobooks that would talk about the niche that I was in, the self-development niche or the business niche in general. I would find content on that. I would download it all on my phone. So every single morning before I got to work, I had like 8 hours of content just on my phone. And during work, I didn't have to speak to anyone. I wasn't, it's not a sales job where you have to be speaking one-to-one to people, or you're not working in a restaurant where, you're waiting tables, right? Because like you can't really have your headphones in while waiting tables or working in a shop, right? You need to be able to speak to people. You need to be saying like, oh, that's £5.80 please, or would you like a bag with that, or stuff like that, right? You can't really have headphones in while working in a retail job or a customer facing job. But a postman, it's not really a customer facing job. I could go the whole day without speaking to anyone if I wanted to, just delivering parcels and delivering letters to houses. So I could have my headphones in all day, just downloading this content in my mind, listening to the top entrepreneurs talk about business, talk about their principles, talk about their habits, talk about their methods. And then once I finished my shift, once I got home, I would then apply those principles to the business that I was working on. So I would have the whole afternoon of just applying those lessons that I had learnt in the day. So it's almost as if the morning, while I was working and earning money, I was basically getting paid to consume content and listen and, be coached technically by these top entrepreneurs, and listen and consume to what they were saying, the values and the lessons that they were given. I was able to take all of this information in the day. It's almost as if like I was being coached in the morning, and then in the afternoon I could apply what I was coached in the morning to my business. So I would do that Monday to Friday, and then on weekends there would be 2 days of just working on the business, and then you start it over again. So the first type of job that I recommend to any guy who wants to get into entrepreneurship is a job where you're allowed on your phone, you're allowed your headphones in. Maybe this is like a factory job where you're just on the belts and you can have your headphones in and kind of just mindlessly build stuff on the factory belt or whatever. But I don't recommend being in like a client-facing job where you need to speak to people. That's the first type of job that I recommend to guys, is one where you can be on your phone, you can listen to educational content, educational audiobooks, and actually consume information, which you can then apply in the afternoons and on the weekends to your actual business that you've set up. Okay? So that's the first type of job that I recommend. The second type of job that I recommend is a job that builds your skills specifically for the business. So this was my second job, which was a sales job. So I knew that as a businessman, as a guy with his own business, I would need good sales skills. I would need to sell people on why they should join the community, why they should get on one-to-one coaching with me, why they should buy my products and my services. I would need sales skills, right? So I got a job in sales, a job that directly correlated with a skill that I would be able to apply to the business. So it's a little bit different from the first type of job. The first type of job is a job that allows you to just consume content and consume audiobooks and podcasts that you can then apply to your business. The second type of job is you're actively working on a skill that you are getting better at, which you can then apply to your job. So this might be AI, this might be a marketing job, this might be a sales job. And even if you're not selling your own stuff, even if you're selling other people's stuff, you're still developing the skills of sales. You're still developing the skills of marketing. You're still developing the skills of AI or software development. Okay? So whatever you find interesting, whatever would apply to your business, maybe you're trying to build a software that you're going to sell as a service, a SaaS business, software as a service business. Maybe you're trying to build a software as a service business. Okay, you'd probably get a job in software development. Maybe you're trying to build a content business similar to mine, then you'd probably get a job in marketing or in sales. So what you need is a job that has a high leverage skill. So skills that are going to be very, very important in the future, stuff like AI, marketing, sales. All of these things are going to be very, very important in the future, no matter what kind of landscape we go on. Those guys always make money, whether it's, accounting or sales or whatever it is. Those type of guys will always be needed. So you're in a job where the skill is directly correlated to your business, and it's also one where you can develop a skill. So you're not just kind of mindlessly, talking to people. So again, with the retail jobs or the customer, facing jobs like working in a bar, for example, okay, your social skills might get a little bit better, but it's not really directly applying a skill. You're not directly learning sales, or you're not directly learning marketing. Okay, you might get a little bit better social skills, which will help in your business, but it's not really a skill that you can upgrade over time. There's only, so good you can get at social skills before you need the other skills like sales and marketing and psychology, etc. So those are the two jobs that I recommend to young guys. If you're an aspiring entrepreneur, you know that you want your own business, you want to make money online, but you also need a job because, like I said at the start of the video, entrepreneurs seem to not understand that these guys are still living their lives and they still need a job and they still need to make money in order to, live and afford to buy stuff that they want to buy. Those are the types of jobs I would recommend. Number one is a job where you're allowed on your phone, you're allowed to wear headphones, and you don't really need to think that deeply about the job. Like I said, for me, it was a postman. You could kind of switch your brain off as a postman. All you have to do is look at the number of the house and deliver the letter. Look at the number of the house and the parcel and deliver the parcel. That is fucking easy. A retard could do it. Or the second type of job is a job with a high leverage skill like sales, marketing, AI, software development that is going to directly help your business. And you'd follow the same process where you'd work your job in a day, basically get paid to develop your skills in sales or marketing or AI. You'd get paid to become a better salesman. You'd get paid to become a better marketer, get paid to become better with AI, and then apply the skills that you've learned from your day job to your business in the afternoon and the weekends, and you're earning money from your job, which you can then invest into your business. And that's how you actually break free from this kind of trap of working that 9-to-5 job that you don't really like. Those are the two jobs I recommend. One where you can just switch your brain off and listen to educational content, or one that's developing a skill that directly correlates to your business. You're basically getting paid to become a better business owner. You're getting paid to become a better businessman. Obviously, don't tell the company you're working for that that's the reason you're doing it. But eventually, you'll start to improve the skills or the knowledge that you get from the podcasts and the books, the audio books that you're listening to. Eventually, those will improve your business. You'll get better at business, and you'll be able to quit your job, quit your 9-to-5, and go full-time on your business. I hope this helps you, boys, because I wish someone told me this when I was first starting. Like I said, I had to find this out the hard way. I had to work jobs that were terrible and didn't improve my skills at all. So I hope that it does help you. And if you're a young guy, maybe you're even too young to work, but you want to be an entrepreneur, and your parents are onto you about getting a job or something like that, then I would say get one of those two jobs. Either one that you can go on your phone, or one that will develop a skill that you can apply to your business. Have a good one, boys.